Good morning. Shall we tune in, Suzanne Joy?
Good morning, Deborah LeeAnn. Yes.
Interestingly, um, that got cut off in our last video. So I'm going to go ahead and start with our introduction. We are coming together today in our humanness, and hopefully going to play with the gift of leadership, which seems to be up everywhere right now, and the need for leadership. But to get there, we get to go through the shadow of arrogance. Oh, this is in my chart. And when I first saw that, I was so taken aback because I hate arrogant people. But let me continue with the process. So then, as we continue to open into our leadership gifts, and we'll describe how Richard Rudd of the Gene Keys uses these terms or what he well, actually energetically what he means by them, you're going to have to determine on your own. So, but the Siddhic state or the highest consciousness state um, is humility, which also sounds like such a religious term to me. So I have all kinds of meaning making attached to these words that I would like to kind of disassociate from. And um, and let's begin with arrogance.
Hmm.
So arrogance is not just the bully, look at me, I know all the answers, that kind of person. It's also the insecurity of needing validation from outside. It's also the I'm not enough as I am, so I need you to tell me that I'm enough. So it's a that to me was fascinating. And I also do know that I spent decades trying to prove myself in the corporate world, in the nonprofit world, in the leadership development world by, twisting and turning and trying to be what others needed me to be versus which is very arrogant versus dropping into my inherent leadership self and trusting that that was enough.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on arrogance?
I was listening to Richard a little bit, and I think at one point I heard him say something about spiritual arrogance even.
Oh, yes.
And when, people want to get to higher states of consciousness and then they're not embodying it and living it. This is what we came here to play in, is this land. And I know that I definitely have danced in that realm some. Not as like a better than, but just because I am so connected. Um, we are so connected. Um, but I wanted to challenge myself. I'm like, have I been arrogant in any way? Please mm, make clear to me if I have. Um,
And did you learn? Because I can see how certain people rely on their physical self or their mental prowess um, or their spirituality to say, you know, this is my belief system. It's the right belief system, and I have this wisdom, or versus
mm, yeah,
not
I
mine.
don't.
It's
Right, it's mine. Right. I don't know that I've ever pushed my belief system. In fact, I've kind of hid most of my belief system. Um, so I don't know what if
that's a choice too, which he says
yeah,
it's a choice point, right?
right.
Being our true inherent selves is a choice of Do I um, hide behind what the expectations are of the others in the room? And it's interesting. We've talked about this when we're in certain places, in certain communities with certain people, how we can let our masks, our facades slide away and we can just drop into that safe space of being our true selves. And other places, we have guards up. I'm playing with noticing that more and more of where can I just let my light shine, and where am I covering it up out of insecurity, out of fear? Um,
I don't always, is it always out of insecurity or fear, or is it just discernment?
I think that's the choice.
Hmm.
So I think that one of the things I kept hearing him say, and it's interesting because I've been listening to this for how many years, this audio transmission, and I got a whole different level today of surrendering, not out of resigning and resignation, but out of complete trust. And so that's the difference. That is the difference of, oh, am I surrendering to let life live through me, or am I trying to make it something, or am I trying to be something more than I am in this moment? That's the arrogance. And so
Mm.
I can see where I have been very pushy, grabby, not still and trusting and allowing. Um, and he said the grace can be fierce or it can be soft. So that's where I think the leadership comes through, that we are choosing to model this is the truth of who I am in this moment. And you know what? I'm really effing angry, or I'm really grieving and sad, or I really need help. I'm asking for support. So, I mean, I think can we own all of that?
Yeah.
How we
Uh,
lead.
I was kind of giggling before we got on, just to myself, sadness and giggle. But most of most of my life, I've lived in an area where there's this stoicism, there's this mm, emotional barrier, um, not wanting to share that tenderness, the vulnerability, um, and I think mm, being in this next phase of who we are to become. I mean, the stoicism hasn't always served us. It's in fact cut us off from us being relatable human to human.
Right. And that's the type of leaders that we used to see, right? I keep thinking of the 70s, 80s, 90s, my time out in the corporate world. Well, you were in the corporate workforce then too. And even through our college educations, when we saw a leader, I remember thinking that they were like so perfect and like, how could I ever be like that? And that's not, I mean, we didn't see a leader. I never saw an example of a leader who was truly human in their vulnerability, in their, you know what, I can't do this by myself. I need support, or I'm asking for all of you to contribute your gifts. I don't have to look like I'm the only one doing this. I mean, they would take all the credit, my example. Um, so where I'm playing with you is that stoicism that we were taught, that was from generations before, of it wasn't really safe or it wasn't culturally appropriate to, do you remember the hang your dirty laundry, or share too much of our real selves with the world? And now and now we've gone the other way, where there's this reality show everything out there for everybody, and I think even that is performative. How can you be yourself if you've got a camera focused on you 24 hours a day. I don't know. So we're settling, right? We went from, because social media has forced us into that one space. Yeah. So now we get to go, this is who I truly am. And right now, this is my state. This is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm appearing. And I don't need it to be any different than it is right now. Um, but the thing that for me that kept coming, the phrase that I kept hearing myself repeat over and over again is the not surrendering. What was it? It was about the living life without expectations or fear. And I'm a really expectation kind of person. Like I hold you in really high expectations. I hold my kids, and I can see how that has been an arrogant thing. That if
Mm.
if you don't meet my expectations, then I'm angry, or I'm hurt, and I'm like, whoa. So that was big for me to see or to hear, you know, love how you get these things when I guess you're ready to hear them. So
Mm.
are you in expectations or do you not show up out of fear? Or what would be the way that you would cover up your true humility and leadership?
Well, for a long time, when I would ask the divine to work through me, you know, I would say, I have expectancy, but I'm not worried about the how it comes through. So it's like having, yeah, expectancy of good, but not knowing the how, so you get out of the way.
And that's a healthy expectancy where you trust that something that you're going to be answered, supported, held.
But then there's
Yeah, but
but
then
then but then you have that human stuff that pops in that goes, wow, wow, what's happening to me? I don't understand it. Um, this is not making any sense because what I know to be true, or at least for myself, what I know to be true about circumstance, person, whatever, um, it's not the same. And what so it's all for me and it's beautiful, even though it hurts and yucky. um, I think that's probably the hard one. Where okay, this and better.
yeah, well, I mean, is there a way to drop the expectation that it's going to come through beautifully or our
Right.
expectation of beauty? Is there or is there surrender into I trust that this is taking me where I want to go, even though I just need to be honest with you, I'm not really happy when this doesn't feel so good. So
Right.
because I think that type of for me expectation is very I used to do that to myself on vacations where I'd have it so exciting that I'm going on this to this place and it's going to be fabulous and blah blah. And then I would get there and something would happen that would like catching my daughter coming down the water slide when we were in Mexico one time at this hotel. She came down, she hit me in the head, bust my lip open, and she did get a cut from my tooth on her head, but she was fine 5 minutes later and back in the pool. I couldn't drink margaritas because the salt really hurt my cut lip. So I was like, oh, well, this is ruined, And I'm like, Deborah, geez. So I do that where I think it's going to be a pain free or, whatever my expectations of that vacation was. And that doesn't allow the divine to give me whatever experience is the best, most amazing thing for me. So I definitely see how I have done that. And I would like to choose differently, please.
So moving into leadership, it's interesting when we think about leadership. I like to think of myself as like a vehicle, um, for whatever is the highest and best for that experience, moment, whatever it might be. And so, some people would say that it's, self-authoring or sovereignty, or I don't know. But it's also thinking of the whole.
Yes.
It's not,
It's
it's you playing, you recognizing that you're there to be of service, or is
yeah.
it?
Yeah. So it's not all about me. It's the we. I know we've seen that again and over again and a mazillion things, but the dropping of the me into how am I here to be of service to the whole?
Right.
And I think you can see how arrogance is all about me, and the gift is where you flip it to, oh, it's about how I'm here to be in my dharma, in flow with my purpose and my essence in service to the collective. And then get out of the way of what the expectations of what that looks like, which has been a long time on that. So um that's good. Thank you. I forgot about that part. And leadership is to me, it's the modeling of this new way of being. It's the modeling of being vulnerable, trusting, allowing yourself to be supported, being integral, mind, heart, body, soul, all operating and in an alignment, which the humans that we are becoming, especially young people, have taught me this. They are so quick to pick up in their radar of when somebody's being less than authentic. And I can't get away with anything with my daughters. And I love that. And I also am not really happy about it because sometimes I can't hide anything. So, so that's how I think a leader of today, or what the leaders are being called to step into more at this time. And then humility. Do you want to touch on that before we? To me, and I have to just say this, I've worked with religious leaders for
Mm-hmm.
a good long time now, and the humility vow that they take is often very much in conflict with them stepping into leadership and claiming that they have gifts. I mean, and I don't mean like broadcasting they have these
You
gifts,
know,
but owning them.
yeah. And what's interesting is then it feels like you're, huh, oh, that's so funny. Um, because you're in service of the divine, but yet we were placed here to be instruments, but you've got to own your instrument.
Yes, yes, it's hard to play your part in the orchestra
Right.
if you're like, oh yeah, I'm really good at the flute, but you know, I I'm just going to let it sit right there and not pick it up and play it, you know. So that's a great way to say it. Thank you. That's really good. And I want to reframe it for them that it's not uh, an arrogant state to own their gift. I'm like, there's a fine line
Right.
between this is me and this is what I'm really good at and this is what the gift is I'm bringing to this leadership team versus just being it. And I think again that's another one of those learning curves where we go from I can't own my gifts to
Right.
these are all my gifts, aren't they fantastic, to whoa, settling
Yeah.
into the center of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a surrender. The humility feels like a surrender into your innate gifts.
Without expectation and without fear, because that tends to be more resignation, like, okay, I'm done, I'm just going to lay down, you do with me whatever you want.
Right.
That's,
There's a partnership there.
yes, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Um, shall I do the mudra?
Yes.
So simple, which I love. Some of these have gotten a little unwieldy. So, for those who are listening and can't see, this is one that you can easily do in practice because it's easy for me to describe. You take your right hand and create a fist, bring it together. And you don't have to squeeze hard or anything. It's not like force, but then you just take your left hand and put it around your right hand so that you're holding your right fist. And you can feel how your right fist actually gently um, loosens a bit. And this is humility. And I love this because it's such a great reminder that we are divine and physical. We are mental and intuitive. We are, all of these beautiful parts.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Till we meet again.
Till we meet again. Much love.
And I would love any insights or input or questions or how do you see how you are transcending and stepping more into your leadership, your humility? I think it'd be fascinating to hear because we have a very wise community who listen. So, peace.